Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Derek from Strive. So, last week I mentioned that I am going to end up going into my prep phase within this group to do my photo shoot prep because that was my goal way back when before the quarantine even happened. Last week it was all about what it's the first steps of what am I good at? What are my struggles? What do I know is going to be a struggle each time I adjust? Why am I doing this? And stuff like that. The reason why that happened before I actually put in the plan is because my goal is to not do this as fast as humanly possible. I did a really good job at the beginning, back from November to March, losing the 20 pounds. I ended up gaining about 6 back. And so now I'm ready to go through it again. Where my mindset is at, you have to realize too, is I was insanely burnt out during the right around March. That's why I was going to take a break, not a 3-month break, but I was going to take a break. Even though I gained some of the weight back, in reality, I'm actually in a really good place metabolically, and the weight's already starting to come off as I start getting rid of the snacking, which I was doing before. All right, so that was my mindset before. This week is all about adjusting. I started getting a little bit better. I know already that my weight has fluctuated back and forth a little bit. But again, I'm sitting at that 161 mark, maybe 161.0, 161.3, which last week I was at that 161.6, 0.7. So it's starting to come down again. I'm not insanely accurate or anything like that right now. It usually takes me a couple weeks to get to hit my stride. But after I figured out my why and I did all the right stuff to sort of get my mind right, now this week is all about creating a plan. And it's not just about, following a diet and going all in, or just going all in on the workouts. It's having a plan so I can be consistent. All right. So I'm going to sort of go over that. And I'm also going to go over some of the MyFitnessPal on how I'm going to keep track of it and what I did as I start planning my day. So my plan: watch the snacking. I'm generally better now that I got my, quote unquote shit together. But the biggest thing is, how am I going to get my veggies? I usually depended on a huge salad at Randazzo's that I would buy, just because I don't like prepping. Again, I'll sort of go through it as I go through some of my typical meals, but I don't like prepping. Okay? I don't like taking the time or like that. My meals are pretty damn simple. So how am I going to get my veggies though? Because now with all the quarantine and stuff like that, there's no longer a salad bar at Randazzo's. I tried to get a pre-made salad from there, and it was awful. I absolutely hated it. So that's not going to be a good thing. I tried before, when I was doing the cut before, was making my own veggies, different things like that. It never took. Okay. I like simple. I like just getting a whole bunch all at once, because I don't prefer veggies whatsoever. I'm a 100% carnivore, to where I prefer meat over anything else. And so I know that's going to be a big thing. It's probably going to end up happening to where I just buy a big thing of spinach and actually prep chicken and stuff like that, and throw it in there each day and make my own salads. I'm going to hate myself during the entire process, but it's going to take me a little bit to try and do that. And I also have a little bit of, I can always make, broccoli and stuff like that with my cod, but it makes the house stink way too much, and it within like 3 days it stays there. So that's going to be things that I have to sort of adjust to. My macros are going to be around 160, which is about 1 gram per body weight, 160 carbs, and then 63 grams of fat, around that 1900 calories range. That's usually where I start anytime I cut. I don't get really like higher than that. And again, you'll see that my lowest is usually around that 1600. Usually my perfect time is around that 1700 range. But I'm going to start at that 1900 range and see where I'm at. Again, the biggest thing I'm going to end up waiting for is the snacking. I'm going to have to make sure that is in line, or else I'll go overboard. But you'll see how I adjust to that as we go. Steps. You'll see one of the things in the group later on. During the quarantine, I was at 6,000, maybe. All right. And it's because I wasn't doing anything. And most importantly, I wasn't walking around fitness classes. this past week running fitness classes is now I'm up to that 10,000, 12,000 mark. All right. And it's also warm out, so I'll be able to walk a little bit more. But my goal is to be around that 12,000. All right. It's important to know that because as you get deeper into the diet, you'll see that I have to adjust some things. And again, I'm not paying attention to everything, but I'm paying attention to the things that I can adjust. All right. Cardio, I don't really like doing cardio days. So I'm doing simply 10 minutes run. It's literally just 2 laps around my facility. I'm going to do that 3 times a week. And you'll note those are the things that I'm going to add as I go deeper into the cut, as my body adjusts to the stuff. So you'll notice that the stuff I do is nothing random. All right, I don't just work out randomly throughout the week, do 2 days and then 1 day and then 5 days. Same thing with cardio. All right, I am going to keep track of a lot of this stuff. And then working out 5 days a week. I can easily do that. It's going to be hard just because I have to do it in here, obviously, because the gyms are not open. That's usually my fallback. That's how I do really good workouts. I struggle doing workouts here, so that's going to be a little bit of a struggle as well. But I always do 5 days a week, 2 upper body, lower body strength, and then I have 3 days of like high reps, stuff like that. And again, with the cardio too, it's 10 minutes. Run 3 times a week. If I can't do that every single day, maybe I'm swamped, I can easily put 30 minutes into one lump sum and do that same exact thing. Okay, I'm just looking for the total throughout the week. Okay, and you'll notice it's all about the law of averages. I'm going to be doing stuff throughout the week. All right, so if I struggle, I can easily adjust to that as well. And you'll notice how I'm going to try to do it this time around with the macros too. All right, so that is my plan. That's the overall goal. What I'm going to end up showing you now is how I did stuff with my MyFitnessPal. All right, so we're going to look at this real quick. Let me adjust this. All right, so here is my day, and I'll show notice you how I'm going to put this in. All right, my stuff is pretty damn basic. Okay, and I had basically up to here done around 10 o'clock. Okay, so I had about 120 grams of protein before 12. I mean, sorry, not 10 o'clock. All right. So what did I do first? As you see, I'm going to have to do some extra work when I go home or anything like that to make this a little bit higher. And the goals are not really in there as well. Basically what I do, I always put some sort of snack right there. I always snack when I get home because I'm here around from, basically 5 a.m. all the way until 8:30. Maybe a little bit less when I'm not coaching volleyball, like right now. But I'm going to put 210. I usually eat 2. That's usually what I allot myself to. But I gave myself 3. So around that 200 calorie mark, which is a lot. Again, not anything else but fat and carbs. So I'm going to be getting a lot of that, but I'm going to put that in solely because if I don't, I would go absolutely crazy and I would eat the entire bag one time through, and I would have like 600 calories, 800 calories in one sitting. All right. So I have to make sure I'm going to do that. If I don't have that, it's no big deal. All right. Then I'm going to work myself through this. Okay. My breakfast. Now, usually I would have this completely filled out, with including my dinner and plan my entire day out right now. I didn't do that because I wanted to show you how I would do that first too. Okay. So my next meal would be here. And again, it's just 2 scoops of protein in my coffee. All right. And again, 50 grams right there. Boom. All right. And this actually is what I did last time. I usually fall back to this. I'm pretty easy when it comes to convenience. I want convenience. I don't care about variety. And then if I want variety, it's usually like 1 day out of a couple here and there. So again, majority of the time I eat this and then it gives me some leeway later on. Okay. I'm just going for that consistency. Obviously, as I get deeper and deeper, you're going to notice that I'm going to have to get really consistent. So meal 2 right here. This is where I'm going to probably put my salad in there to make it a little bit easier and give myself some leeway again. But I go over next door to the Mr. Pita and I get something like that. Again, I already had this saved in there just simply because it was, I scanned everything there because I'm really good, or really good friends with them. So biggest sticking point, Obviously, I don't know how much chicken. They usually told me, but again, that's an if. The cheeses, I had to figure out how much cheese they put in there. It's usually 3 slices. I get 1 now. And the other thing too is the mayonnaise. I have no idea how much they're putting in there, so I just get rid of that. Every once in a while I will. I've sort of gotten used to that. Honestly, just me being hungry with this because I don't have anything. And then my biggest thing, it's not pre-workout, it's just another meal. I get 2 things of raspberries and an entire thing of Greek yogurt. All right, and I just throw that all in there, and that's my main meal. All right, so you see how I adjusted this? I put this in here first, and then I adjust everything else. All right, so I'm gonna have to do some extra work to get my protein. My fat is gonna be really low anyway. Honestly, I get most of my fat at dinner when I cook my eggs or I cook something in there just to get it with taste, with like butter or stuff like that. So I usually go all fats at the end of the day just because it's good taste, and that's usually the only meal that I cook. Okay, so this is usually gonna be like an egg dinner. You'll see I'm gonna put this in there later on about how I'm gonna basically do a lot of eggs, a lot of egg whites just to bump this up. And again, I can easily have some leeway right now because this is I have about 60 grams to play with that I could easily have maybe 1 more Oreo or something like that. All right. So you see how I sort of start with the non-negotiables and then I work my way around this. Now, again, this is purely just trial and error. I've done this multiple times before. This is always what I fall back on. And you'll see how I change stuff up where as soon as I get lower and lower and lower, I'm going to have to get rid of all this crap right here. Okay. And that's where I'm going to instill my protein and stuff like, or my other stuff too. All right. So that is how I'm doing that. Hold on. All right. So that is the second step of the whole process, creating my plan. What am I going to be paying attention to? What am I going to be doing? All right. And you'll see as I start posting more and more, especially on social media, of the whole process, and I'll be posting my weight. What's my weight doing? How is it going to fluctuate? Why is it okay? And how I'm going to adjust the weekends once we're starting to open up, and maybe I start drinking with my friends, stuff like that. Okay. So that's the overall plan. I'm going to stick with that, be consistent, watch some of the weight go down a little bit, and then I'll adjust, and you guys will be here for that. Okay, but that is my plan after I figure it out. You'll notice I am going to be keeping track of basically 3 different things: cardio or nutrition, cardio, steps. 4th thing would be the workouts, but I'm generally good with that. With the workouts, I'm going to be paying attention to not only am I doing it, but am I doing better with it too? Not necessarily a huge focus when you're trying to lose weight, but it's still a good thing to sort of pay attention to make sure you are pushing yourself. Another thing you'll notice as I start going down is my steps will drastically go down and my energy is going to tank like crazy. And I'll sort of show you how I adjust to that. Again, that's basically my plan. That's a really good plan. I always fall back into that. A couple of different things. Obviously, the veggies and the snacking are going to start coming into that, and I'm going to have to uptake a lot of different other stuff as well. All right. And biggest thing is pay attention as we start going through. If you have any questions, feel free to post in any of these, and I can easily answer it because I'll get tagged as I start going through there too.